Today, we're ballooning with Vogue Turkey, getting prehistoric with Vogue Portugal, and doing laundry with Harper's Bazaar China. My name is Marco, welcome to the Model Gene, and if you're ready to dissect this month's covers, hit that like button and let's get started on October's Battle of the Covers. Starting off with Vogue US, we have this pathetic debut from Chloe Mal, two Instagram models with bad retouching. It is shocking to me that this was approved as is, because my eye goes directly to hair. The reason this looks so unnatural is a combination of factors, but it comes down to the lighting choices. By assessing the background, I can see that the sun is behind the subjects, backlighting them, but they are using artificial lights to illuminate them from the front with this very flat, even lighting. On Gigi, it's less of an issue, but the dark hair of the comes off as super unnatural, highlighted by the Vogue logo behind her. Looking at the rest of the editorial, the stark contrast between the two women could not be greater. Gigi looks incredible in comparison. The other one's lack of modeling talent is on full display. There is not a single image where she looks like a model. This portrait of Gigi is lovely, warmth exuding from her eyes, but with the other one, she looks like she just clocked that a paparazzi her mom called was taking a photo of her. Here again, a great pose. She looks locked into character, but here, the other one looks vacant. I can hear the wind whistling between her ears. Gigi would have never reached this level of fame if not for her mother being on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she is actually a capable model. The same cannot be said about the one. Shame to every client who booked her. Ray covers British Vogue, and I will preface this criticism with the disclaimer that her debut album, My 21st Century Blues, is my favorite album of all time. I bought the album on iTunes, bought the live recording from the Royal Albert Hall, my sister bought the vinyl, so my love goes deep, which is why it pains me so much to see her first cover of British Vogue came out like this. Rather than hiring a photographer, the magazine hired model Malick Bodian, whose connections have given him the opportunity to ruin many a cover. From this angle, the bridge of her nose and the angle of her cheek are the same, which combined with the shadow of her hand, it distorts the silhouette of her face. This bright flash on her face has washed out her bone structure, creating this white rectangle. Her hand in this vertical position does not carry the eye around the image. It would have been better if she had her arm outstretched and smiling instead of with her lips pursed. Ray will surely be getting more magazine covers over the years. It is just very disappointing that this is her first British Vogue cover. Hopefully, next time an actual photographer will be taking the photo. I would have loved to see Alistair McClellan work with her. He really exemplifies British excellence and knows how to tap into the raw emotion of his subjects. Vogue France, no, absolutely not. She is no longer with Kanye. Send her back to the polyester factory so she can pollute the planet as much as she is polluting this cover. Sabrina Carpenter covers Vogue Italia, a much better cover than her one for Interview magazine. Although it still fits with her vintage aesthetic, it is more mature rather than coquette, warm tones rather than the normal icy blues and pinks. The retouching on her face here is making her look like Zabu from Zabumafu. These are my two favorite images from the editorial. Her pretzel-twisted body is really interesting. The backbend takes the #1 spot for me. The use of the negative space, the contrast, her body looks incredible, and I like her biting her lip. Isla Peterson covers ELLE, a well-executed shoot and a great performance from her. Of the 4 covers, these 2 are my favorite. In this cover, her makeup is full 80s glam. Her bone structure and this lighting really suit the aesthetic, the sharp angles and the dark lines. Her pose here is good, but the moiré effect on this jacket was something that the stylist should have thought about and not included this look as a cover option. I would have also gone for a color background instead of the beige, but I still like a lot of elements here. For the black and white cover, the tornado of hair is a very smart way to create movement in a garment that is so bulky, the body can't really move around in it. Not every look can be photographed in the same way, so props to Giampaolo Sgura for tackling this Moschino coat and hat with an effective strategy. I don't love her in this afro. I think darker curls rather than this afro would have suited her better, but otherwise it's fine. The last cover, this was a great way to photograph this fur coat, but not have her look swallowed up by it, having a bit off the shoulder, the crossed legs and hand. The pose is great, and you can really feel her attitude in her face. I never go crazy for these types of images, but it's still okay, just not for me. From the editorial, these are the 2 standout images for me, this punk rock blonde moment and the beauty portrait. Just by having things slightly off axis, it makes the image so much stronger. Like instead of her being perfectly upright, we have adjusted the axis. Her shoulders and head tilted, the jacket collar twisted. The portrait didn't even need the jewelry, just the beauty of her face and this lighting is enough to create something strong. Bella Poarch covers Vogue Philippines. Overall, it's a nice cover, but I would change a few things about it. Starting off with the positives, I think her outfit is very cute. I like how the sheer fabric is still showing her chest tattoo. I like the black flowers and the texture of the background, and how her hands are being posed. Makeup is pretty, but my biggest issue is how she is kneeling with her feet back. If she was posed with her legs showing, it would encourage the eye to travel more, whereas this feels very static. The lighting is beautiful. I'm a fan of photographer Mark Nicdao, but having a different pose could have taken this cover to another level. Vogue Portugal has 4 covers for their Animal Instinct issue, a really interesting offer for October. I love this cover from ELLE Nogueira. The styling and makeup is wonderful, but I appreciate the humor of this photo. The dinosaur is very unexpected, but beyond that, the way she is framed in its mouth, how she is holding onto the teeth, it all makes for a great composition. Jordan Roth's cover by David LaChapelle is over the top and fantastical, everything I want and expect from his work. At first glance, I thought it was a Pierre et Gilles cover, but there are a lot of similarities in their approach to photography. They share a psychedelic Technicolor vision of heightened perfection, often with elaborate sets and deliberate framing. I like that in this cover by David LaChapelle, they decided to go with all white with Jordan's look and the animals. It looks more like a deity than a mere mortal. The Yorkie cover is cute, but forgettable. The blurry cover of Alicia has a dark and sexy quality to it, but also feels more like a shot for the inside of the editorial, not the cover image. Mona Tugard covers Harper's Bazaar, and it doesn't matter that she is completely covered up, she is exuding sex appeal. The volume in her hair, the bronzed makeup that perfectly accentuates her incredible face, the silhouette of the jacket, everything is working great together. I would have preferred this on location rather than in studio. This look reads back to school, so I would have loved it in a classroom, but Mona's excellence still makes it a good cover. Frankie Rader and Claire-Marie cover La Repubblica, and I miss the days when Mert and Marcus were dominating the editorial world because these are beautiful covers. They became so strongly associated with a certain look and color grading, one heavily influenced by Guy Bourdin, but then they became the ones being referenced and replicated to where it seems they wanted to step away from that. These black and white covers are striking, they show off the models, but also their own talent for lighting and composition. Frankie's cover has this wonderful pose, the intelligent use of sheer fabric, but I really love the cover of Claire-Marie. We only get a peek of this very interesting top she is wearing, but it is photographed to really show off the movement. The shadows on the left are super dark, carving out her face, the whites are bright, her gaze is penetrating. This absolutely draws me in and makes me want to see what is inside the magazine. Hood Song covers Harper's Bazaar China. The cover is nice, but the editorial is exceptional. Starting with the cover, the main thing I would change is that her black hair is indistinguishable from the black ribbon. I'm not sure if there's actually some black fabric over her shoulder or if it is just a long hair extension, but I would prefer to see a visual separation, or conversely, if it was a giant rope of hair that went down her body and then tied around her waist. The yellow coat looks great, the golden flash that echoes the golden hour light with that bit of reflection off the water in the background, it is all very well done. In the editorial, we have storytelling that shows the power of a location shoot and why I wish they were more prevalent. There are so many cover options in here, it is hard to pick a favorite. The colors here are gorgeous. I love the highlights on her eyelids, nose, and lips. There is such a painterly quality to the image. The billowing fabrics against the incredible landscape, this image on the motorcycle. Let me know in the comments which are your favorites. I am grateful there are still magazines that actually care about fashion photography. Hood Song covers Marie-Claire China, another great series of photos from her. I can't say I'm obsessed with any of the covers, but from the editorial, I love this image the most. The tailoring and construction of this garment really shines in this image. Her arm position creates the negative space to show it off. The red lip and nails really pop. This could have been a black and white image and been just as strong, but I like it in color. Home and Domingo covers L'Officiel Homme. Lots of style and personality in this image. The car is a dominant feature, but it doesn't overwhelm the image entirely, and I think it was very smart to have the red calipers of the car to echo the red of his socks and shirt. I like the styling, his pose, and although we lose some of the silhouette with these black trousers, it is not terrible. Gigi Hadid covers V magazine. This composition feels very 1950s Vogue or Harper's Bazaar, and then I read that bit of text radiating from her hip and saw that it was a quote from Lisa Fonseca-Greaves. She was a top model in her days, the favorite of Richard Avedon and Irving Penn, and she actually ended up marrying Penn. In these early years of fashion photography, the technology didn't have blistering shutter speeds like they have on today's cameras, so models had to create the impression of movement in stationary poses. In this cover, her pose is drawing your eye across the image and is nearly perfect, but I think the one place that could have been improved is her face. She is looking ever so slightly off camera, but she should either be looking straight to camera or have her head up and gaze more to the left, elongating her neck. The depth of shadow really carves out her silhouette. This is a lovely cover and shows how important it is to be intentional and precise when shooting in studio. Joan Smalls covers Vogue Brazil, and I have mixed feelings about these two images. In both covers, the desaturated skin tone isn't my favorite. It feels a bit lifeless, but especially in this image, the retouching is out of control. Her legs have been brutalized with Photoshop. So much anatomy has started to go missing, like around her knees, the ankles, her feet. These freaky Barbie legs are unsettling, which is a shame because I normally love the covers by Lufré. I'm not wild about the styling or art direction here either, which is a shame because Joan Smalls should be featured more often on covers. Alex Consani and Anak Yai cover Allure magazine, and I want to hear what you think about the lighting in this cover specifically. Did they light the cover for Alex or Anak? We see all the detail of Alex's hair, her face is completely visible, but with Anak, zero detail in the hair, very dark around the lower part of her face. For the solo covers, Anak's cover absolutely devours the other. The reflections of the water and the sheer fabric are visually intriguing. I love the shine of her lips as well. Alex's cover feels a lot more cheap, and I don't think the extravagant eye is well balanced with the rest of the image. Xin Zhilei covers Vogue China, and I really like the colors here. The lake behind her is beautiful, but not distracting. The blues of the sky reflecting are well balanced with the contrasting warmness of her skin and outfit. The pose is a little bit awkward, but her face is beautiful. For this cover, I would have loved if her head was just tilted up ever so slightly, so we had the sun in one eye. It would have made for a stronger connection with the subject. Nora Svensson covers Vogue Turkey, and there's a lot to like about this cover. So many people come to Cappadocia for the hot air balloons, so it is great to see that the magazine is highlighting something special about their country. I'm not crazy about this dress for the cover, mainly because it distorts the silhouette of her body and makes it look like you popped off one of her Barbie legs. I would have preferred the white text to go in the negative space in the blue sky, but I like her lifted heel and her left hand. This cover would have been improved with a different dress, something lighter, fringe or feathers that blow in the wind and create more movement, but it's still a good cover. Chloe Sevigny covers Vogue España and Vogue Germany, one shoot for two magazines, both forgettable. In this cover, her raised arms shrink her neck, and especially without her whole body showing, it makes her look short. In this cover, her position and the fabric make her upper body look super boxy and wide, like she's wearing football pads underneath the dress. Two Vogue covers, both not great. Jacob Elordi covers WSJ Magazine, promoting his role in the adaptation of Wuthering Heights. Overall, I think Michael Bailey Gates did a great job with this cover. The pose is referencing classical portraiture, but the styling is subverting that slightly. His earring, stubble, unbuttoned vest, messy hair, it's all giving more casual and modern, even though he is promoting a period piece. And that is where today's review is going to end, but for more about the fashion industry, check out the links below. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the covers this month, and be sure to subscribe to find out who comes out on top next month in the Battle of the Covers.